Hello YouTube! Today we are talking about retiring early with just $50 a week. Who wouldn't want that? I mean, if I told you you can retire earlier than the average Joe, what would you do? Would you invest those $50 a week? I mean, I know I would, and I will show you why. Before we start, a quick disclaimer. Before you do anything, contact your financial advisor to see what's possible. Do your own research. I am just a lady on the internet, and past performances are not a guarantee for future results. Indeed, the market is just not predictable, and don't take just my word for it. So, my name is Anne-Sophie, and I love everything personal finance. I would love to help you on your path to financially literacy. Please let me know what you struggle with, because I know my struggles are probably not yours, and I really want to help you out. And finally, if you have no struggles, good for you, but are just interested in subjects that I'm not covering, please let me know. I would love to research it. So I would personally love to retire early so I can spend more time with my family. They currently live abroad, so it's hard to make enough time and have enough time next to my 9-to-5 jobs. Also, at some point, I would love to have my own family and to have time for them. Of course, I am also an impulsive person, but because of my job and my hours, I just cannot follow every intuition I have, so I would love to have time for that. And of course, I would start my own business if I could, but no time for it. And I would love to volunteer more if I had the time for it. I already do some volunteering, but not enough for my satisfaction. So what would you do if you had all the time in the world and enough money to not worry about it? Let me know in the comment sections. I'm very curious. It's almost being nosy, but please let me know. I'd love to hear. Before I show you the numbers, let me tell you, I do not do the calculations myself. I use a compound calculator. I will put the link in the description. Also, the calculator would only start with a balance of $100, which is not such a problem because I think it's a great amount to start investing anyways. Depending on your situation, you could need a lot more time or money, and I will try to show you all the scenarios in this video with $50, but in the other videos with other amounts. And finally, I use an 8% rate of return. It is possible to achieve that with stocks. If you're interested in investing in bonds, 8% is most likely not achievable. So recalculate with your own numbers if needed. I will show you with 8%. So here we are with the first scenario. In this scenario, you will invest for 5 years, $50 a week. The return is 8%, and you would end up with almost $15,000. So this wouldn't be enough to retire early, but it does pay for some expenses for multiple years. Also, if you receive dividends at 2%, you would receive passively, doing nothing, $299. $299 could pay for your gas bill, for example. If you have more time, for example 10 years, investing $50 a week, you would end up with $37,000. It took 5 years to get to 15, and in 5 other years you would get 22,000 more. And that's how you see the compounding effect, because it makes more interest on the interest of previous years. $37,000 is not yet what you need to retire early, though it could pay for expenses for a couple of years. Finally, if you would receive 2% of dividends, you would earn passively $741. Now in scenario 3, we will invest for 15 years. Again, $50 a week, starting at 100 because of the calculator. And we end up with $70,000. Yes, we are talking about retiring early. With that much money, you could retire up to 2 to 5 years earlier. You have enough money for expenses. The first 5 years brought you 15K, the second 5 years brought you 22K, and the third one 33. So this keeps getting bigger, and the money starts working for you instead of you for the money. Also, if you have dividends at 2%, you would earn $1,400 passively. For me, that's a month of mortgage. That's awesome. Doing nothing. Scenario 4 is you having the time to invest. In this case, 20 years, $50 a week at a rate of 8%. And you end up with, amazingly, $120,000. In this graph, you can see that the green interest is bigger than the interest. At this point, the money is working for you. Last period of 5 years brought you 33K. This time, in 5 years, you got 50K. And finally, dividends at 2%, $2,382. For me, 2-month mortgage, maybe almost 3 at some point in my life. Great. Next scenario, you invest for 30 years. At this point, you have started early. With 8% a year and $50 a week invested, you end up with $301,000. Depending on your spendings, this could be 5 up to 15 years maybe of expenses. Your first 100K took 90 years, the second one 7 years, and the third one 4 years. At this point, you can see how interest compounds itself faster and faster. Also, the dividends have grown. Right now, with this scenario, you would earn $6,024 doing nothing. It's yearly, of course, but with that you could grocery shop probably a whole year or 2. Finally, the last scenario of today, you are investing for 40 years, investing $50 a week at 8%, ending up with, wow, $705,000. At this point, you can retire. You could probably live off that amount without ever running out of money. You can also see that the interests are so much more than the principal, the amount you invest. You could actually stop investing around 30 years and just let the interest take on. Finally, the dividends at 2%, that would be 14K. Maybe you could live frugally of 14K, but you can probably use that to retire. So as you can see, the longer you invest, the better and higher the interest. Those are the compounding effect at its best. Investing $50 a week will help you retire early as long as you start young enough. So investing can be started at the smallest amount, but don't forget you do need an emergency fund before you invest so that you can pay for the emergencies of life. Finally, if you like this video, please like it, leave a comment, subscribe. I would love to hear about you. Thank you so much.